All right, now to implement Facebook authentication, I'm going to click this icon and first enable Facebook login. Now here we have App ID and App Secret, which represent a Facebook app. You can see these two input fields are pre-populated with values, but that's because I was playing with them before recording this video. So in your case, you're not going to see any values here. And we're going to create a Facebook app to get an App ID and App Secret. So head over to developers.facebook.com. Once you log in, here on the top, under My Apps, go to Add a New App. Next, on this page, give your app a name, like Pepper. Put in your email address and select a category. It doesn't really matter for the purpose of this demonstration, but if you want to build a production app, it's better to specify the right category. And finally, click Create App ID. Okay, our Facebook app is ready. On the left side, go to Dashboard. And here you can find App ID and App Secret. Simply copy these values and then paste them in Firebase console. Now below that, we have what we call OAuth redirect URI. What is this? When the user logs in via Facebook, we take them to Facebook. Facebook collects the username and password, validates them, and then redirects the user back to this address. This is how OAuth protocol works. So we need to copy this address and set it in our Facebook app. So Facebook knows where to redirect the user back to. Now, before proceeding, let's save the changes here. Okay, we're done with the setup of Facebook authentication in Firebase console. Now let's go back to our Facebook app. In the dashboard, here, scroll down. Under Products, click Add Product. Here we need to add Facebook login. On this page, when you scroll down, you would see valid OAuth redirect URIs. Simply paste the address you copied from Firebase and leave the other settings as they are. And finally, save changes. All right, all the plumbing is done. So now Firebase knows about our Facebook app and Facebook app knows about our Firebase app. Next, we're going to implement login and logout in our Angular app. So I've changed the template here to display a simple heading, and I've also added two buttons, login and logout. Let's go back to our component. First, I'm going to import two types from Angular Fire 2. I'm going to bring in auth providers and auth methods. Now, to implement login, we start with our Angular Fire object. So this.af. Now this time, instead of using the database property, we use auth. And here we call the login method. We give it a configuration object. We set the provider to auth providers.facebook. Now, if you wanted to implement Google authentication, you would set this to auth providers.google. And then we set method. We can set this to either auth methods.redirect or pop-up. If you use pop-up, when the user clicks the login button, the user will stay on the page, but a pop-up will appear to authenticate the user via Facebook. And this means because the user is still on the page, we can do something once authentication is done. So this login method returns a promise. And then here, we can call then, pass a function here that takes auth state as a parameter. For now, I'm just going to log this in console. So I give it a label after login. So what I want to emphasize here is that this code is only executed if you set the method to pop up because the user will stay on the page. However, if we set this to redirect, because the user will be completely redirected away to Facebook and then back to our application, this code will not be executed. So I'm going to change this back to pop-up. All right, so this is all about login. Very simple. Now let's implement logout. Once again, this.angularfire.auth, and we simply call logout method.